today, presented by Haagen-Dazs.
A happy Wednesday. We begin our show with some breaking news out of Philadelphia. Joel Embiid, he's been ruled out already for Game 2 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. That's tonight against the Knicks. He has some right hip soreness that's bugging him and a right ankle sprain as well. So big news here, and that means we bring in Big Shams. Shams Charania, our senior insider, is with us. What exactly led to Philly's decision, Shams, to rule out Joel Embiid, especially so early in the day here?
Like, I'm told Joel Embiid woke up with increased soreness and pain in his hip and ankle, and he ended up having additional treatment as the morning went on, spent the majority of the morning on the training table, was not able to participate in shoot-around. But when that ankle and that hip just was not responding to treatment and additional aspects that he worked with the medical staff, the Sixers were the ones to make the decision to rule him out tonight against the Knicks in Game 2 in New York. They are the ones that stepped in and essentially have kept him out. We know Joel Embiid loves to play and has tried to play through different ailments over the course of time. But now Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Paul George will play on without him in Game 2. His status uncertain moving forward.
All right, so we certainly know the Sixers team has experience without Joel Embiid, but they are without him here for this Game 2. Shams, thank you so very much for that insight as we welcome you inside our Los Angeles studio. NBA champ Kendrick Perkins, former #1 pick Chiney Ogwumike, the best in the business, Brian Windhorst. Perk,
Wait, no. And we have Dr. Malik.
Oh,
yeah, Doctor. That's why I'm wearing the pilot purple today.
We're not going to gloss past that. Yes.
Well,
where's your hood?
Where's the hood? Where's the cap?
Dr. Andrews for the rest of the show. However, not the kind of doctor that can diagnose what is going on with Joel Embiid here. Do not trust me with that sort of medical advice. But Perk, big man to big man, what do you think the Sixers' chances are? No Joel Embiid in this Game 2.
No chance. You say
really?
No chance. You see the way the Knicks been playing basketball over the last 4 games, offensively and defensively? They need Joel Embiid. And I'm to the point now where it's not just unfortunate if you're a 76er fan. It's frustrating. It's very, very frustrating. And I'm to the point now because Anthony Edwards has set the bar and the standard.
Oh, that was
No.
That was amazing.
It was. I don't want to hear about doctors and the team holding you out because the doctors and teams, they couldn't hold Anthony Edwards out. Anthony Edwards went in there and put his foot down and said, I'm going to play. I'm going to be available. I get it. Joel Embiid, right, his history is long when it comes to his injuries, but damn it, man. This is so much of a disappointment. Like, it really is. Look, different year, same story.
Yeah. Completely agree. It is a different year. It is the same story. And the crazy thing is that they gave us hope with how they performed versus the Boston Celtics in Game 7. You felt like he was so close. This team was so close to actually being right at the right time. For Joel Embiid, I mean, it's a different circumstance than Anthony Edwards. Joel has a CVS long receipt of nicks and knacks and issues and surgeries, and the latest being the appendectomy that he dealt with. But I am the most optimistic, probably, human here at ESPN.
Yes.
And I don't see a chance, a path forward without Joel Embiid for the Sixers to advance the way that the Knicks are playing. And also, if I'm Karl Anthony Towns, Wendy, I'm like, oh, I am salivating. Now it's my turn. We saw in Game 1 Jalen Brunson do his thing. This is the first time we're seeing the Knicks be unselfish. They dive on the floor for loose balls. Mike Brown said that after the game, I think of Game 1. He's like, we're getting that type of effort regardless of whether we win or lose. We don't know what the possession's going to look like. And now you have Cat who can go and say, like, okay, now you go do bad. He's fully capable of it.
From probable to out on a playoff day. Damn. In the annals of Joel Embiid injury history, of which there's a lot, this is another chapter. Probable to out. And you know what? We just showed all those.
Oh, goodness. I'm sorry, Wendy. I'm sorry.
He loves us.
I'm sorry. You weren't scheduled to be. Oh, why? Because Joel's out. Now you're all excited.
I'm so sad for Joel Embiid tonight. We wish him well. We are looking forward to him coming back. But I feel bad for the Sixers tonight. New York, stand up, girl. New York, stand up.
I'm going to tell you something, though, Stephen A. When Jalen Brunson was coming off those screens and Embiid was in that drop coverage and he was getting all those free shots, that's not going to be there tonight. They're going to be able to change their defense, and Brunson's not going to have as much space.
They don't need it. It doesn't matter. They're going down 0-2. Brunson's going to drop. It's going to be about 30 tonight. Karl Anthony Towns, he's going to have another triple-double. OG going to come down a little bit. Going to have about 20. I know he had 17 the other night, but it's going to be, 20, whatever. Let's make sure we keep Mikal Bridges flowing. That's very, very important. We don't need him going into another stupid. We don't need that experience again, damn it. 6 picks, 4 unprotected. Remember, I keep saying that. Live up to it. Bottom line is this. We go up 2-0 tonight. We go back to the city of brotherly love, show them no love whatsoever. Embiid will try to be ready. They win 1 or 2. We come back to the Garden for game 5.
This is what the Knicks do.
And it's over.
Just when you
it's over.
Just when you think the Knicks got, this is what happens. So this is a trap. This is a certified trap right now. You are personifying the Knicks fan right now.
No, but look, I have to agree with Stephen A. because it's not just the game 1. It's what we've witnessed over the last 4 games. Defensively and offensively, they're clicking on all cylinders. And at some point, y'all know how I feel about Tyrese Maxey. Hey, man, at some point, you got to put your foot down. All this Jalen Brunson.
But I will say, Perk, the last time Joel Embiid was out in a game 2, when they got absolutely smacked in a game 1, everyone else stepped up,
and to the tune of Maxey, 29 points, Edge come 30. That was game 2 versus Celtics where they won.
I just want to state for the record, this is y'all's show. And since I just strolled in uninvited, like I do, I want y'all to know you are more than welcome to do that anytime. If you're willing to wake up in the morning and do it on first take, I will not turn you away. You can bust right in, Malika, anytime you want to.
Yeah, anytime I want to be up at 6 a.m.
That's right, just like I'm doing on your show.
When he and Skip are over there.
There we go.
See what happens. See what happens. You try to walk on.
I'm not going to. This is Malik Andrew, but I'm not going to stop
Doctor.
that. I'm not going to stop
Dr.
that.
Andrew.
You understand? Doctor, excuse me. I'm sorry.
After this weekend, Stephen A. That is true. All right, you get on out of here. We're going to get to the Lakers in Oklahoma City.
We have been. This is not a trap. They're going to come out of the East.
All right, let's get to Oklahoma City on that note. That's where LeBron and the Lakers, they ran into a bit of a thunderstorm here against Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Chet Holmgren. So here is how this one looked. Here's how it went down here. We're talking about stage 1 of this for OKC. It's all about Chet Holmgren, Shanae.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of people really were like, okay, without J-Dub, how is this team going to step up? Well, we know they're deep, but when you get production from Chet Holmgren like this, who had 18 points in the first half, he averaged 17 in the first-round series versus Suns. This team, they're deeper than what, Perk?
The Pacific Ocean.
Thank you.
And how deep is the Pacific Ocean? One day we're going to Google it. All right. And then there was the getting out of double teams here for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. There were some Thunder turnovers, but OKC shot 8 of 13, including 3 of 4 from long range when Shai was doubled. So here's Shai when he was asked about adapting to those looks.
As the game goes on, like, you understand more so, like, how they're rotating around it. And, like, what we like spacing we can have behind it to give ourselves the best opportunity to have an advantage. My teammates on the back end playing 4-on-3 is it's what you play for. Every play starts for us to create an advantage.
And then here, Wendy, the third and final stage for OKC, because the Lakers did push them at points in this. It was finding some roles for guys like A.J. Mitchell. Nice moves here. Puts a nice little floater in the lane.
And who else?
Well, there was A.J. Mitchell. There was Jared McCain.
Back-to-back threes, baby.
They came at you.
This little thing is catching on like wildfire, his little 3-point.
Yeah, I know.
Mitchell and McCain, they combined for 30 points in their 43 minutes. OKC ran away with game 1 in the second half here. And this just in, Luka Doncic, he actually spoke with reporters today for the first time since suffering his hamstring injury.
Have you ramped up at all to running or any on-court contact stuff?
Yeah, I'm running. Right now I'm running, but I haven't done any contact. I haven't been clear yet to do any contact. Yeah, I went to Spain to do PRP. And, it's obviously, I think everybody knows that's in this, that it's one of the best countries to do that. And obviously, we talked with the Lakers doctors, so everybody agree. For me to go there, why I was in space so long is because I needed 4 days in between every shot, so I did it 4 times, so that's why I stay longer. It's very frustrating. I don't think people understand how frustrating it is. All I want to do is play basketball, especially in this time. It's the best time to play basketball. It's very frustrating, but seeing what my team is doing, I'm very proud of them.
So it's interesting. On the one hand, you would think, okay, is Luka talking because he's getting closer to returning? But on the other hand, it doesn't really seem like he's close.
He said, and this was the first time this has been said that I'm aware of, that when the doctors saw the MRI, they said it's 8 weeks.
Right.
It's been 4 weeks-ish. So, maybe he's ahead of that timeline, but that is not somebody who looks like they're coming back in this series.
So they can't necessarily rely on the fact that they're going to get Luka Doncic back here, Perk. So in order to climb back into the series, because there's time you looked up and this was a 2-point game yesterday, what do the Lakers need to do?
Well, LeBron need help offensively. They scored 90 points. Let's be real. He talked about it post-game and talked about, yeah, we're missing Luka, obviously, but you still got Austin Reeves. And anybody seen him? Can somebody tell them that the playoffs has officially started?
So let's talk about Austin. Did you know, Perk, that Austin has never had a 25-point game in the playoffs?
No,
ever,
I didn't.
In his postseason career. The most he's had is 23.
And what's crazy is the time is now. He is auditioning. Like, I questioned during the regular season, and I asked y'all, we were up here, and I said, if you're the Lakers, do you build around Luka and Austin Reeves? Are they your future? Can those two guys get you to the promised land? I don't want to take a dollar out of Austin Reeves' pocket. He had a phenomenal year. But the postseason is the time that you rise to the occasion and show what you're capable of, and he's not getting it done.
Yeah, and I also want to give a little deference to the fact that he is still working his way back from injury. But if I'm J.J. Redick and I look at the box score, I'm like, ooh, those 17 turnovers, those unforced errors that were converted for, I think, 31 points. Ooh, there's no way in hell, respectfully, that Austin Reeves is going to go 3 for 16 again. He's too good of a player to shoot that poorly. And then last but not least, you got that surprise factor from Luke Kennard and those other guys that were support. Like, it felt like you wasted a LeBron James vintage game because it's going to be hard for him to get that type of production moving forward.
Yeah, last round, the big thing was Luke Kennard, Marcus Smart really were able to hit those shots to help out LeBron. Last night, you throw in Austin Reeves with those two guys. Guys, it's 8 of 35 with 8 turnovers for those 3 guys. And look, I'm not saying that I'm expecting them to all go out there and score 25. But if you're going to pull this upset off, you need some help from guys like that.
And they got a little help from OKC because Shea was human. Yeah. He's normally a superhero averaging 30. He only had 18 points.
But let's be real. I don't expect much out of Marcus Smart and Luka because you are going against one of the great Luke Kennard, excuse me. You are going against one of the greatest defensive teams that we've ever seen.
Sure.
But Austin Reeves, if you're him, if you're one of those guys that's going to be a maxed out guy, a franchise guy, I mean, you got to show up and show out.
But without J-Dub, that's what allowed LeBron James to get that loose, and the fact that it's LeBron James. Without J-Dub on the other side, I'm not sure that OKC has an answer for him in particular if he can just get a little bit of help. But you know what we know? That J.J. Redick, he's not going to let those guys go. You're going to hear a very quick whistle and calling a timeout. He called so many timeouts.
And then he stomps out.
Stomps out on the court and says, "No, we're not doing this like that." Exactly one of those. All right, I wasn't going to say.
There you go.
Perk. All right, the Timberwolves, they found something in Game 1 that they think could change the series, but superstars, Wendy, they're defined by how they bounce back. So how is Wemby going to answer the call? Plus, the Cavaliers, they coughed up Game 1 in Detroit. Wait till you hear what James Harden had to say about his performance afterward, really keying in on those turnovers. And the Knicks, they dominated Game 1, but with no Joel Embiid for Game 2, Chiney, she's going to tell us the one player who needs to step up in his absence.
Take it to the max.
So that's what the Cavs are doing in this series. They're taking their time. They're easing in Motown. But the problem is Cade Cunningham and the Pistons, they were firing on all cylinders. So under 4 minutes left in the third, Max Strus drives, kicks it out to Mitchell. For a moment, Chiney, we had that Cade Mitchell kind of going at it.
Yeah, we had the duel, but then things flipped the switch very quickly. Hello. Third quarter buzzer beater.
Great way to end the third quarter there for Detroit. Ron Holland sighting, by the way. Under 10 minutes left in the fourth. Duncan Robinson, little Euro.
Oh, he can put it on the floor? Who says he can't put it on the floor?
No one said that.
And then he gets in James's face afterwards, who takes a little bit of an exception there.
He's trying to rub it off on Duncan.
Harden blocked by Duren. Great block there by Duren. Finally, we started to really see a Jalen Duren game here, Wendy.
That was the next 2 minutes of basketball was Jalen Duren showcase.
It was
another one.
Really, the end of the game. It was the Duren takeover. Slams it home there.
Oh,
Cunningham
and
Duren
pass with
again.
The left? Come on.
That two-man game, Chiney. The Pistons, these are the first Pistons player Cunningham was with 250 points and 50 assists over an 8-game span in the postseason in franchise history. And then Danis with a kiss of death here.
A spark plug momentum.
I have been informed that we have been mispronouncing it.
Danis? Well, Danis it is. And when you have a play like that, gentlemen, I apologize. Here's James Harden on his performance.
You look at my turnovers, and a lot of them were just on me and nothing they did. So, and, which led to
I don't even know how many transition points they had, but it was way too many. And, I mean, if I had to put my print on one thing on the game, that's the game right there. I mean, how many points they had in transition? How far turnovers?
20.
There you
31.
go. That's the game. Like, it's nothing else.
It's good to have a teammate that has your back, checking the stat sheet there. Turnover is definitely, though, becoming a little bit of a concern here for Cleveland, right? At least 15 turnovers in their last 6 games. That's their longest streak this season and the longest in franchise postseason history. So you feel this over here, what's happening in Cavs corner? Let's just check in, a temperature check. What are you seeing from Donovan Mitchell?
Well, the last 6 games for Harden and Mitchell has been unacceptable. The Cavs have lost 4 of them. And when you look at their stats, those 6 games, and by the way, the 2 that they won, they came back on. They were able to get back. But they're shooting 40%. Donovan's got 12 free throws in that 6 games. That's just not getting it done. Mm-hmm. And between them, they have 51 turnovers. Like, this is the playoffs. This is where you're supposed to make a difference. This was a tie game with 5 minutes to play.
Right.
And it was the Pistons players and stars that outplayed the Cavs stars down the stretch.
Well, this happens with James Harden, right? This is the 29th game in postseason history for him where he's had more turnovers than he has field goals, Perk. But I know for you, this was about the big fella.
No, but hold on one second. Put him on the bench. At what point is
Easy.
No.
No, you know what? What? If he wasn't a Hall of Famer, he would have gotten benched. But he stuck with him, and he did play a little bit better.
It's enough of this sticking with him, right? We go come with facts over feelings. The fact of the matter is that he's turning the ball over, and he's still not that great defensively. That closing lineup that they had, especially in the backcourt around the perimeter yesterday, wasn't going to cut it. You had Max Strus, Donovan Mitchell, and James Harden. When you got Ellis, you got Jalen Tyson, you got Dennis Schroeder. One of those guys got to go to the bench, and one of those guys got to come in. At the end of the game, we saw it. Tobias Harris, Cade, they just started attacking the basket because it wasn't no force. You need perimeter defense. If I'm Kenny Atkinson, going into game 2, I'm not just going to have that level of tolerance for James Harden and his damn turnovers. What's wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong. The reason why I say is keep a cool booty before we're saying bench James Harden.
No, I said start him.
But then get other people going, because Dennis Schroeder actually came in and gave really good minutes, energetic minutes.
So did Strus.
But to me, the key here is that James Harden has to be on the floor and not turn over the ball. Because when James Harden turns over the ball, guess who has horrible games? Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. Jared Allen only had 2 points. Mobley had 14, which is solid.
Get in foul trouble.
Yeah, exactly. But in my opinion, anytime you see bad turnover games for James Harden, you can make a correlation to lack of production from their post.
Yeah, but
he has to be on the floor.
But it shouldn't affect the other end. And the way that Jalen Duren was punking both Evan Mobley and Jared Allen is
so that's not James's fault.
That's not
more so the post fault.
But again, Evan Mobley is still the most important player on this team and in this series. He's going to have to own this matchup. He's going to have to make up for that lack of perimeter defense. Didn't he just win Defensive Player of the Year 2 years ago?
Yeah.
But show it. He came into the game with 4 minutes to go. Right in the 4th quarter. He checked in, and he shot a 3 soon as he got in. And you know what Jalen Duren did? The Detroit Pistons got the rebound. He went deep-sealed Evan Mobley and turned around and snatched the screws out the rim. And I'm sitting up here saying, well, damn, bro, at what point are you going to play with some force and some damn pride?
Well, I will say this. Most players in Harden's shoes would have gotten benched by their coach. He stuck with them. Kenny Atkinson stuck with them, and he did lead an 11-0 run. But then they didn't finish.
This right here were the winning plays, because Duren, he had 11 points, 12 rebounds, I think 4 assists, but these are the plays that actually won them the game. You just saw the block on one end, and then on the other side, this is where he got the opportunities. Cade, he can drop 40, but instead what makes him great is the fact that he can drop assists in a timely nature and get his teammates going.
But also, look how easy Cade is getting to the paint. But here's the deep seal right here. Just little boredom. Grown man. Wendy, this is what I'm talking about.
Kenny Atkinson put Evan Mobley in with 4 minutes left.
Yep.
After that, it went downhill. But if you're going to go down, you're going to go down with Mobley, Harden, and Mitchell. That's why they went down.
Hey, but can I like make this a little bit more positive? Are you okay?
No.
Because I want to tell you something good though.
What?
Because the big question has been who is going to step up. Duren has had good moments, right, but not consistency. When's the first time you accepted being called auntie? It was recent for me. They called Tobias Harris Unc.
Still have not.
And he has. I'm cool with being auntie. Tobias Harris is excellent right now as a number 2 option scoring. He's had 6 straight games of 20-plus points. He has not even had that in the regular season this year. He's playing his best version of basketball right now, and he has been the calming presence. You see that mid-range shot right there? That was what helped ice the game.
Janae, as what the Pistons did and what they have learned, this is the number 1 seed that we were waiting to see rather than the turnovers of the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Completely agree.
Okay.
We've been waiting for Cade Cunningham to have help. Duncan Robinson had 5 threes. Tobias had 20-plus points. Jalen Duren had a huge run in the fourth quarter. This is the Pistons squad that can actually do it.
You know what happened? It was a blessing in disguise for them to go through that hard 4-7-game series because they found themselves, right? And they developed a confidence. But we have to stop with this James Harden. He's 36 years old. He is not the guy that you just going to continue to give extending his leash. Like, no, if he's not cutting it, put him on the bench.
All right, well, before Perk breaks the table with his
Haagen-Dazs.
news today, Philadelphia 76ers star Joel Embiid, he's been ruled out for Game 2 tonight against the Knicks with an ankle injury and some hip injury as well. Now remember, Joel has played in 5 of the 8 possible games this postseason for the 76ers. As we say hello to Tim Bontemps, who's covering this series for us. Tim, what should we expect? Knowing what we saw the last round in Game 2 without Joel Embiid tonight in this Game 2 against the 76ers.
Well, Malika, I think we should expect to see at least an attempt to replicate the formula that, as you said, the Sixers used in that Game 2 win against the Boston Celtics in TD Garden, the game that really started to flip that series around because it gave them an opportunity to come back from down 3-1 once Joel Embiid got back on the court. Now, what did Philly do in that game? They started Adem Bona at center. I would expect them to do that again, have Andre Drummond remain in his role coming off the bench. I would expect them to have Tyrese Maxey be far more aggressive than he was in Game 1. He took only 1 shot in the first quarter, only 3 in the first half, was really not involved in the game. I would certainly expect him to be far more aggressive, get up a lot more shots, try to carry this team to a win like he did in that game. The other thing I'd expect to see is a lot of three-point shooting. Philadelphia was 19 for 39 in that Game 2 win, and shot making is really correlated to how the 76ers have played in these playoffs. Not that that's a huge surprise, but in the games that they've hit shots, Malika, they are 4-1 and they've been competitive. In the 3 games they have not hit shots, including Game 1 of this series the other night against the Knicks, they have gotten blown out of the gym. So for any chance the Sixers want to have to make this game tonight at the Garden competitive, they've got to make shots and stay in it, and that starts with getting Tyrese Maxey going with Joel Embiid sitting on the bench.
Yeah, when you say make shots, immediately my mind goes to Tyrese Maxey, but that's interesting to watch for Adem Bona in the starting lineup here tonight. Tim Bontemps, we always appreciate the time. And so without Joel Embiid, this isn't really surprising, right? The 76ers 11 games above 500 with Joel this season, 3 games under in the games that they were without their big man. And in the last regular season game against the Knicks without Embiid, the Sixers, they lost by 49 points at home. However, that was the Cancun game, right? It's the one right before All-Star break, or Galveston, depending on, you know, who you are and where you're going.
Galveston, deep cut. Now you're in my neck of the woods.
That's a bummer. Shout out, Chuck.
I actually like Galveston.
You and Chuck debate. It must happen over Galveston, Texas. But that's a conversation for another day. The conversation here is about the 76ers. And this is a bummer. Everyone, we want to see them healthy. But is it Tyrese Maxey that's going to need to step up, Janae?
Yeah, once again, I see this being a point guard battle, especially coming off of Jalen Brunson's big performance. You know the saying, Perk has your uppercut. You know, styles make fights, and both of these point guards play a different style. Jalen Brunson won Game 1 by playing physical. Game 2, Tyrese Maxey, he can have the advantage because his speed kills. Tyrese Maxey actually traveled at the fastest average speed in the NBA.
Oh, wow.
So he can use that to his advantage, and so he can force Jalen Brunson to be on his heels with the attack. I know sometimes people question his defense. Well, force the issue here using your speed if you're Tyrese Maxey. So that's your advantage. He did not play to it in Game 1. Expect for him to do so in Game 2.
You got to take it personal. Which point, period, point, blank, whatever y'all be saying. He got to take it personal. Tyrese Maxey, because it's real talk. It's not just about what Jalen Brunson did in Game 1. It's about what he's been doing to them over the past 2 seasons in the playoffs. 5 consecutive games of 35-plus points. Tying Michael Jordan for longest streak against the Philadelphia 76ers. That don't make no sense. At some point, you got to man up and go toe-to-toe. Mano y mano. That's what all greats do. Jalen Brunson is too comfortable with anything dealing with the Philadelphia 76ers. Cheesecakes, cheesesteaks, or whatever it is, he's comfortable he's comfortable with it. At some point, Tyrese Maxey got to say, "Now, dog, I'm about to look you in your eyes, and you're going to smell my cologne. Issey Miyake or Bond number 9, whichever one it is, but you're going to smell my cologne tonight."
Which one do you wear, Brian?
I want a cheesesteak for lunch. I know it's so, you want to, because Embiid's such a powerhouse on offense, you think when he goes away, you think about offense. But I'm telling you, the defense is where this game is going to be changing tonight. Because they're not going to put him in the pick and roll the way they did in the I think they went 25 or 27 pick and roll with him. That was what Jalen Brunson did. When you watch the Jalen Brunson or OG Anunoby highlights, and by the way, OG Anunoby is killing it in this postseason.
Yes,
he's shooting like 70%. When you watch the highlights, you're going to see on the other end is it was Embiid sitting back there. They're going to be able to play more aggressive defense tonight because they got to knock down that three-point shooting percentage for OG Anunoby. They cannot let him keep shooting that way. Brunson is shooting 63% the last 3 games. The pathway for the Sixers to pull this off is to keep the offense from the Knicks under control.
Yeah, that's hard. That's hard. I mean, what they've been averaging about 120, 125
Mind you, the Knicks have
over
been
the
holding
last
their
4
opponents
games.
Yeah,
Under
we're
100.
talking a lot about the 76ers, but the New York Knicks have been so impressive lately.
Yeah, that's the difference with Mike Brown. The defense is where they've really embraced the basketball. And, again, holding their opponents to under 100, that's a testament to what they've done with the buy-in. And then on the other side, I'm fully expecting a cat game. And that's the difference. Like, there's like this camaraderie that's finally back for the New York Knicks.
Real quick.
Brunson had game 1. I think Cat is going to have game 2.
I don't know if we're going to get big points because Mike Brown adjusted his offense, stole a little bit from Golden State, so we were watching Cat do that point center, and he's enjoying
But he
it.
did that with
triple doubles are fine
too, and that was a question of if we're going to see that. And now we're starting to see the offense run through Karl Anthony Towns a little bit more. We now welcome in a Garden great, a 2-time NBA champion, and you got a new title here, JR. As of this weekend, upcoming graduate from North Carolina A&T State University, J.R. Swift. Welcome to the show.
I appreciate you having me. Thank you.
Thank you
That's
so
a nice
much.
ring to it. I like the time of that.
Future graduate. It is coming up just this weekend. You're about to walk across the stage this Saturday. But can we go back to when you enrolled in 2021? This is such a tremendous accomplishment. But what was it that made you decide you wanted to go back to school?
My fellow peer, Ray Allen, we were on a golf trip together, and I seen him running back and forth to his computer, and I was like, "Wait, what are you doing?" And he was like, "Man, I'm submitting papers and submitting my assignments." I'm like, "For what?" And he, went in this spiel of him getting his master's and how important it was for us to challenge ourselves outside of the basketball court. And continuously get better. And for myself, I took the challenge head on, and I've been loving it ever since.
But you decided not only that we were going to go back to school, you're going to be a student athlete. Once again, you were going to join the golf team. We see all the regalia that you're wearing. What made you decide that you wanted to do that?
So another golf situation. I was playing with Chris Paul's brother, CJ Paul, and they have strong ties in North Carolina. And we were playing golf, and he was like, "Man, you're pretty good. Like, why don't you go back and play college golf? You still got, obviously academic eligibility, but athletic eligibility. So why not try it out?" And I met with the golf coach, and the rest is history. It literally came up as an idea, as him joking as I hit my tee shot, and I thought he was joking, but it turned out he was dead serious. So it was a quick transition, though.
It was a quick transition, and you decided you were going to take it on. Student athlete once again. You see LeBron's picked up golf. Have you seen his swing? What do you think of that?
Yeah, we're actually in a group chat now. He keeps sending me videos talking about what he could work on in the swing. And it's funny because we were playing all those finals against the Warriors, and I was going to San Francisco Golf Club, Cow Club, playing Harding Park, all this. He would hit me. He would look at me like, "Bro, I need you to save your legs. There's no way you can go out there and play golf right now." And now I just see him play every day, just siren going off on my phone. Just finish this round. Just finish this round. I'm just like, okay, I love it. I love it.
Oh, how the tables have turned. He gets up there in age and he wants to decide to pick up another sport. But this really, JR, this is about you and graduating, this tremendous accomplishment. I was just at my alma mater this past weekend, and to see the faces on the kids that are graduating, it just was the best feeling. Have you thought about what you want to do with your diploma yet?
I've been thinking about it. I gave my championship rings to my dad, so I'm thinking about giving my diploma to my mom. It was my promise to her when I left high school to go to the NBA. I was going to pursue my degree, and for a long time, we didn't think it was going to actually happen. And now it's here, and I'm just happy to be able to say I fulfilled that promise to her.
I love that. I love that. And I'm sure she is so incredibly proud of you and cannot wait to watch you walk across the stage and turn the tassel this weekend. Left to right or right to left? I can't even remember which way it goes. But turn the tassel.
Right to left.
Right to left. See, he's got it. And this is why he is a graduate and I am merely just up here interviewing you. JR, while I got you here, this is a big week in the NBA as well. Can we talk a little bit of hoops? Because you were at the Knicks win on Monday, right, against the 76ers. But after the game, you got knocked to the ground. What's going on?
Yeah, it was a mosh pit. Oh, man, it was a mosh pit. And, for me, I love New York. I love New York fans. I love the spirit that they have. And I was literally walking out the side door, and my hotel was to the left. And then I looked to my right, and this big ass crowd was just going crazy. And I was like, well, I got an option to go left or I go right. And that time I just went right. And I just try to enjoy it with the fans and let them see that I'm part of the community.
Absolutely, and feel the love, because there is nothing like walking out on 6th Avenue after a Knicks win and seeing the fans going absolutely crazy. What do you think? I mean, when you look at the Eastern Conference, there's a lot of opportunity here for the New York Knicks. Is this the year that they go back to the NBA Finals?
I think this is the best opportunity that we've had in a long time. I think we have all the pieces to the puzzle. We just gotta, everybody has to do their part, and which, I mean, they did the, game one against the Sixers, which I think was a tougher game than people realized for the Sixers after playing that first tough series like that in 7 games. So the comeback, tonight, game 2, and show what we made of is going to be big.
Well, you have had some amazing moments in Madison Square Garden in your career. You have had some amazing moments with the Cavaliers, who are still playing in the postseason as well. So we thought before we let you go, we wanted to run through some of our favorite plays of your career to celebrate your graduation this weekend, the awesome career that you had, and everything that's squaring off again tonight. Anthony Edwards' return helped propel the Timberwolves over Wemby and the Spurs in Game 1. Michael C. Wright, he has been covering the series for us, and he joins us now. Victor, we know he was a monster on the defensive end, but the Timberwolves held him to only 11 points on 5 of 17 shooting. So, Michael, what's Wemby's mindset heading into this all-important Game 2?
Well, Victor said, first off, it's got to start with him making some shots. But it's interesting because Victor Wembanyama said that he expended a lot of energy in Game 1. That's apparent on the defensive end where you've got all those blocks. But offensively, Victor Wembanyama said that he spent way too much of his energy focusing on things that did not help his team. He said, that's on me. So he also mentioned that he played the last 16 minutes of Game 1, and he said it went by like that. That's not a good thing. Vic said that when it goes by like that, it means that he did not have a firm grasp of the game. So look for him to be more present and focused in on every possession, because you have to be that way to win these playoff games.
Yeah, this felt like sort of the first time we saw in these playoffs, at least, Victor Wembanyama be truly mortal. And yes, I recognize I'm saying that about a guy who made history with 12 blocks in a game. Michael C. Wright, we appreciate the time. What you're saying, though, is the pressure is on the Spurs to avoid starting a best-of-7 series with consecutive home losses, because only 5 of the previous 38 teams to do that came back to win the series. Most recently, it was the Clippers in 2021 against the Dallas Mavericks. So however you slice it, today is a huge game perk. So what adjustment are you looking at, especially when we're talking about Victor?
Well, I mean, the biggest adjustment is Wemby got to remember that he's a big man with guard skills. Like, get your feet in the paint. You got to up your level of physicality. He was 0 for 8 from the 3. Every time he takes a jump shot or a three-point shot, the Minnesota Timberwolves are saying under their breath, thank you, because you let them off the hook. You got to find a way, one, to play with pace, get out in transition, let your defense be your offense, and find a way to get Wemby getting downhill. They're living with these shots. I know he can make them, but if I'm Minnesota, I'm saying to myself, I feel like we got a better chance at winning this series if you can become a jump shooter. Excuse me.
Well, what we're seeing in the postseason are when star players tend to have more human games, like Wemby had a human game. Who's going to step up? And it has to be De'Aaron Fox.
Huh? That wasn't human.
Like, you still think it was still superhuman going with the 12 blocks? But, like,
crazy.
human is relative.
Yeah.
We all know his human is just straight up being alien, right? So the alien are the 12 blocks. But when he is maybe struggling to find his shot, to get downhill, De'Aaron Fox, Stephon Castle, there's a number of star young players for the San Antonio Spurs that I feel like have to take control of the game in better ways.
The foul trouble for Castle has been something that's come up a couple of times.
True.
It has, yeah.
He's been knocked out of a couple playoff games so far. I think the X factor tonight is how much is Ant Edwards going to be able to give. Now, 25 minutes off the bench in game one, which was amazing, but it was really, really a valuable 25 minutes. And I felt like he ran out of gas. He made a couple of fatigue turnovers at the end of the game. Can they start him tonight?
Yeah.
Can they extend those minutes a little bit trying to get up 2-0, or do they have to keep a cap on it?
We should mention Ayo Sumo. He's available.
Oh,
wow.
Hey. Ayo.
And that's what I'm saying. So when you said, yeah, you need more from De'Aaron Fox, you need more from Stephon Castle, I don't know if they can give you more. They're going against a Timberwolves defense with a bunch of dogs on the perimeter.
You're right. It's different than the
Jay
Portland
McDaniels is the best perimeter defender in the league. And I'm going to say this. I said it the other day. I'm going to say it now because I need to know, and I know y'all go stand with me on this. This is a must-win situation for the San Antonio Spurs.
I agree.
They cannot go down 0-2 headed back to Minnesota.
I agree.
I'm not